picking up. This is exactly the motive behind this all-party meeting, with the Prime Minister informing all the political parties about what has been done so far. We'll try and reconnect with Abhishek in a short while from now. Remember, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has already spoken as far as this fresh face-off between India and China along the line of actual control is concerned, saying that India essentially seeks for peace and tranquility, but at the same time India values its territorial integrity. And that's an important message that was basically sent across by the Prime Minister. Having said that, opposition parties have time and again essentially raised this question as to why exactly is the Prime Minister silent. In fact, that's what Rahul Gandhi had basically pointed out just a few days ago, but also raising questions about national security. Many experts have basically come out in the open saying that perhaps this is not the time to do politics on this entire matter. In fact, everyone should unite against China, given the fact the kind of adversary that we have, and more importantly, at a time when the nation has already lost 20 of its brave hearts. Is it really appropriate for political parties to do politics on this entire matter, or stand with the nation, stand with the government to ensure that this face-off ends as soon as possible? The government has made it absolutely clear that there is no question of letting go an inch of our territory. That's the message that has already been sent across. The government has also pointed out what really happened on 15th of June was premeditated. That was the message that came across from the External Affairs Minister. Let me go across to our executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor, for the latest. Abhishek, take us through what really transpired in that all-party meeting. What's the dominant message that has been sent across?
For example, KCR of TRS and also Telangana Chief Minister said that the Prime Minister's clarity on Kashmir has angered China. Prime Minister's emphasis on Kashmir's development has also angered China. He stressed that PM's call on Atmanirbhar Bharat has rattled China. So that was the kind of bipartisan support that has come in from all the opposition parties except for the Congress and the Communists. Interestingly, Shravan, the Communist Party sought to put the blame on America for what has happened. For example, D. Raja, when he spoke or made his intervention, said that we need to resist the United States' efforts to drag us into their alliance, and Sitaram Yechury is tread on the principles of Panchashil. Now, can you imagine, when China is the aggressor, Sitaram Yechury of the Communist Party of India, Marxist, is actually still talking about the principles of Panchashil, which were buried in 1962 itself by the Chinese, and have really been, all the other principles and agreements have been so brutalized in this latest showdown and attack on June 15 on our soldiers. Other leaders who came in support of Prime Minister's strategy on China include Odisha Chief Minister and head of the BJD, I beg your pardon, Naveen Patnaik. Even Mayawati of the Bahujan Samajwadi Party appreciated the detailed presentation made by the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. She stressed on taking appropriate measures to make sure that trade and investment is countered in a manner that the Chinese understand it, and that she also said that this is not the time for politics. So it seems that except for the Congress Party and the Communists, everyone understands the need to present a united picture to the world and to Chinese specifically, and to make sure that no politics is played so as to demoralize our forces. These are important bits coming in. I have some more names. For example, M.K. Stalin of the DMK said that we are united when it comes to patriotism, and welcome the recent statements made by the Prime Minister on the issue of China. Conrad Sangma, speaking from the Northeast, who's president of the NPP and also the Chief Minister of Meghalaya, he said that the infrastructure work that has started along the border in the Northeast specifically by the Modi government is something which has really riled the Chinese, and that is the reason why perhaps they have gone so aggressive. We as a nation also need to make sure that what Chinese are doing in Myanmar and Bangladesh, we keep close tabs on it. So these are some of the statements coming in. I told you about Sonia Gandhi. I told you about Sitaram Yechuri and D. Raja trying to actually put the blame on Americans actually for what has happened. And then, of course, rest of the opposition actually backing and supporting the government. Shawan.
Well, Abhishek, also to put this into perspective, there have already been a lot of questions, politics that has essentially been done about the operation in itself. Is there any word that is coming across? Because perhaps what is very unfortunate, questions like, for instance, why were they armed or not? It had, the External Affairs Minister had to basically step in and then clarify. Is that the need of the hour at a time when we are basically facing a standoff which has been over a month? Do you think these sort of questions, questions that have been posed by the opposition would really be appropriate, the timing of it?
Well, yes, Shawan, as I explained, Sonia Gandhi, for example, very clearly had some difficult questions perhaps she thought for the government to corner. For example, she wanted to know which date the Chinese troops intruded. When did the government find out about the transgressions? Does the government did not get satellite pictures? Did intelligence not report unusual activity? So Sonia Gandhi of the Congress Party president actually hinted at the possibility of an intelligence failure. She was responded to by the External Affairs Minister and the Defense Minister. And remember, Sharad Pawar, who is an ally of the Congress Party in Maharashtra, actually shut them in many ways by saying that the issue of soldiers carrying or not carrying arms is a matter of an international treaty and bilateral agreement, and that it should not be, it's a sensitive matter and it should not be politicized. So in a way, what we are seeing is that the Congress Party stands isolated not only by opposition generally, but even by its allies specifically, as it comes out from the statement of Sharad Pawar. The fact that all these parties in some ways are allied to the Congress, DMK for example, is still supporting the Prime Minister on the manner in which the government has really handled the China crisis, clearly shows that the opposition is united, but for the Congress Party living some hubris, and of course the communists continuing to living the dream of 1942 and 1962, talking about Panchashil and actually blaming the United States for whatever has happened.
Can I also then ask you, Abhishek, with regards to the messaging that has come in from the government itself? The government has certainly been on the front foot, especially the messaging that has been done by the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar when it comes to exposing the Chinese and the double standard of the Chinese itself. Are you picking up anything with regards to perhaps what exactly would be the way forward, the government in terms of their strategy? How are they're going to perhaps take this forward?
Well, Shravan, future strategy obviously is not discussed in opposition party meets. This is essentially our democracy playing itself out. This is about India projecting to the world that despite being a vibrant democracy, we stand united against Chinese aggression. And, the contrast is for the world to see. There is the People's Liberation Army and the Communist Party of China. They are not ready to even admit how many of their soldiers have died. And there is nobody in China who can ask that question. And here we have opposition asking the government whether there has been an intelligence failure, and the government minister actually responding with a presentation as was made by External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to the satisfaction of rest of the opposition. We have seen how every opposition leader, and the names I gave from KCR of TRS to Pinaki Mishra of BJD to Mayawati of Bahujan Samajwadi Party to M.K. Stalin of DMK, everyone coming out and really supporting the government, but for, as I said, the Congress president who thought that she had some smart questions and the Communist Party, which obviously lives in a la-la land where they think that the principles of Panchashil should still be followed when the Chinese come in and carry out the kind of aggression that they have.
Well, of course, Abhishek, with regards to strategy, that is something that the government wouldn't have certainly discussed. But the point here that I was trying to make was with regards to the fact that there have been a strong messaging that the government has done, pushing China to the wall, given the fact that you've seen the kind of response that even came in from the Chinese foreign ministry, the flip-flop that one may say so. What India today has essentially done is a strong messaging that has been done. How do you think that the adversaries are going to essentially look at, given the fact that China has been responding to every statement that has been issued by the government? Do you foresee perhaps this entire messaging that has been done by the government calling for an all-party meeting would also be taken very seriously even by our adversary?
Well, yes, these are internal dynamics at play, Shravan. Let's be clear. We are a very vibrant democracy. We are a very, loud and argumentative democracy. This is what is out in the open for everyone to see. The opposition wanted some briefing. They have been given a briefing. There was a presentation made by the External Affairs Minister. There was a presentation made by the Defense Minister. There was some briefing done by the Home Minister as well in the meeting. And the responses that have come clearly show that the opposition is satisfied. Whether the Congress president, after making those pointed questions, also went back satisfied, that remains to be seen. Irrespective of that, what is important is that India has sent a message to the world and to China specifically, because remember, just 2 days back, the Chinese were trying to hint through their editorials, party-controlled editorials, that India claims itself to be a democracy, but that there are issues in some parts of the country. Come on now, if you have the courage, admit how many number of Chinese soldiers have died in the clash that took place in Galwan on June 15th. So clearly, it's a case of India projecting itself as a democracy, a confident democracy, where the entire spectrum of opposition, cutting across ideological divide, except for the Congress party and the communists, who have had intellectual cohabitation for almost all of the 70 years of India's independence, and still talking about Panchasheel and blaming the United States and CIA for what has happened. The rest of the opposition has fully backed the government. They are satisfied with whatever has been done. So far as future strategy is concerned, obviously a lot of things are happening in the background. Part of it we know, which can't be discussed. Part of it, obviously, the government would keep it to itself. It's an ongoing crisis. It has not yet ended. And despite that, if the government has not waited for the parliament session and chosen to brief the opposition, that really shows the dynamics of plurality and democracy that we follow, and even this government is following. Of course, as I said, from the statements that are coming out from the opposition, even they seem to be really satisfied with the manner in which the government has really handled the crisis. Specifically on the issue of whether the soldiers were carrying arms, someone like Sharad Pawar, who has a stature, who has been Defense Minister of India, for him to hold a mirror to Rahul Gandhi and say that these are matters of international agreements and sensitive issues and should not be discussed, clearly shows that there is a semblance of maturity in the political leadership of the country, even in the opposition, and that they understand the nuance, majority of them, of how to deal with the crisis, and that should give confidence to the people of the country that the nation is in the safe hands.
Well, thank you very much, Abhishek, for putting this into perspective. An all-party meeting that has already taken place, and as Abhishek was pointing out, barring the Congress as well as the Communist Party, we have essentially seen almost all the other opposition parties backing the government after a detailed presentation that was essentially done by the External Affairs Minister. The point that one needs to make here is that today, once again, a classic example of how a democracy works, where all were brought together on a very important matter, on a matter of national security.